Welcome everybody to game 2 of the Great Crossing Frankfort basketball doubleheader. In the girls portion of the program, the Lady Warhawks roll to an 87-55 victory. Some final stats that we didn't get a chance to read from that one. Reagan Barrett, your player of the game, 23 points, a career high, 9 for 11 from the field. Braley McMath, now let's be honest, we could probably say Braley McMath is the player of the game every time if we wanted to. 21 points, 8 steals, 6 assists. Have a night, Braley.
Yep, she's worth the price of admission. She really is.
Haley Ward, 12 points off the bench. And then Timmy Williams with 11, and Ava Skierman with 10. For most of the total of 87. Rachel Smith at 5, Layla Custard at 5. Right around that 50% mark, 49.3% shooting, while they held Frankfort to 38.8. And the turnover battle they also won, Frankfort with 21. Great Crossing with 14. Rebounds were a stalemate at 32 each. Points off turnovers, Great Crossing 30, Frankfort 5. Second chance points, Great Crossing 17, Frankfort 7. Three-pointers, Great Crossing 9, Frankfort 2. You can see how that game went. So we will turn our attention to the boys as Great Crossing comes in with a record of 6-6 overall, 1-0 in the 41st district. Of course, they picked up an impressive win over Franklin County before Christmas night when they jumped out early. And that seems to be the key for this team. When they get off to a good start, things go well. When they get off to a slow start, it's an uphill climb. The Lincoln County game, the North Laurel game. It was a game earlier this season against one of the Jessamins that came in here.
Bryan Station, maybe?
Yeah, well, that night was kind of a back and forth. But there had just been some nights where you can tell early. The only game that was an exception to that was when they played the team from Indiana. And that one they roared back after a slow start. But generally speaking, you can tell how it's going to go for these guys early on in terms of confidence. The consistency level, it has been up and down too. You talked about Jalen Barber. There's some nights where he has dominated, and there's other nights where he's gotten into foul trouble. KJ Tucker and Michael McKenzie have both been kind of streaky. If you look at point averages, KJ's at 14.5, Michael's at 13.8, Jalen's at 10.2 to go with 7.8 rebounds. Ty Skierman had the good night against Scott County. He's averaging 7.4. He had about double that against Scott County. Neil Baker, 7.4. He's, of course, the point guard, so he supplements that with a lot of assists. That's starting 5. Beyond that, their bench is a little short right now. Skylar Feaser's been out with I believe it's a high ankle sprain. I don't know that I see him on the court tonight either in pregame. So
I've seen him at is that him at mid-court center in a sweatsuit?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So there you go. He is still out of lineup. He's not on crutches anymore. He's been on crutches. So it's going to be a while before we see him. So that's going to put a little more emphasis on Dominic Smiley, Caleb Perry, Xavier Parrott. Some guys that may have come deeper off the bench in December are going to play an increased role as we get into January here. For Frankfort, 5-10. They're 0-1 in the district. The Panthers have lost 7 straight. And at this time of year, that can happen quickly. They went to Florida and lost 3 in a Christmas tournament. They went to Nelson County, lost 3 in a Christmas tournament. And then they got kind of whacked at home by Bryan Station. And if that's an indicator, because we all know the Bryan Station Great Crossing game was kind of a back and forth till the final buzzer. So if you're comparing opponents, that probably is not a good omen for Frankfort. They had a good team last year. They threw a scare into Scott County in the 11th region semifinals.
Great game.
This is a little different looking team. They still have that outstanding freshman. He's a sophomore now by the name of Jackson Twombly. He's averaging 14.2 points and 5.6 rebounds a game. Their leading scorer is Chaz Austin, a senior with 16 points per game. They also have Will O'Brien, Coach Chris O'Brien's son, one of his 2 sons on the team, averaging 11.5. So they can put points on the board. I think defense might be the question, so this might be a night where Great Crossing can get the let out offensively. They really did struggle in that Lincoln County.
Well, I think this is a night where Great Crossing really needs to turn it back around, because when you do have a loss at Lincoln County like that, you know, it's bad to lose on the road, but it's bad if you play bad and losing on the road as well. So I'm anxious to see how they come out tonight if they do have a fast start and are able to finish everything as well.
Of course, they started 0-3, did Great Crossing, had a 4-game winning streak, and then lost the game to drop back to 500 to North Laurel. Went to Logan County, got to the championship round of that Christmas tournament, lost 80-72 in the final. That put them at 6-5, and then the loss at Lincoln County. But it's a different challenge when you get in the district, as Coach Steve Page has said. You know, you mark those 7 games on your calendar, and those, regardless of what you do in the other 23, you got to get those.
Exactly right. I mean, this is we've already talked about this time of year. It's time, again, as we said, to put up or shut up and continue to improve. Continue to improve. And, you know, practices are very important this time of season. And now that you're moving into, you know, district play, Great Crossing, I felt, went into Christmas on a high note, played well over Christmas, and then you come back after Christmas and you had kind of a letdown. So this game right here is get back on track, and I really think they can do it tonight against Frankfort.
And, you know, you can say it was a tough game at Lincoln County. That's the defending 12th region champions, and certainly a team with a chance to do it again. So, you know, it's going to be a tough road assignment anyway. I think it's just the way that, you know, they got the doors kind of blown off in the first quarter, 23-7, and never really bounced back from it. But a chance to bounce back tonight. The starters, as usual, for Great Crossing will be Tucker, McKenzie, Barber, Baker, and Skierman. For Frankfort, Charles Ellis, Jordan Blythe, Chaz Austin, Will O'Brien, Jackson Twombly will be your lead quintet for the Panthers, who are dressed in orange from head to toe. Great Crossing in the home whites.
Twombly was impressive. Hard for Scott County to stop last year.
Yes, he was. And right off the tap, Tucker quickly, but misses a layup, and it comes down to Ellis.
I think KJ was a little surprised with the tap right there. I don't know. That may be a design tap because he gets a layup out of it.
Inside to Twombly, just like that.
And that's what it's designed to do. Good ball movement. He gets Jalen Barber had bad positioning right there with no backside help. And they come out in a 2-3 zone, Frankfort does, which I think could work to their advantage.
McKenzie lobbed to Barber, and he traveled.
We'll see if KJ could and Michael McKenzie can get going against this. Well, and Ty Skierman against his, 3 good shooters against his Frankfort zone.
You got to feel like Frankfort, the longer they can hang in it and get confidence. And there's the reverse layup off the drive by Twombly. He's deceptive. You look at him, and he's kind of a wide body.
Very athletic.
He is athletic and only a sophomore. 4-0 Frankfort. Not the start that Great Crossing wanted or needed. Now Baker penetrating pitch back to Tucker. Tucker gets caught in the air to Skierman, to McKenzie on the wing. No good. Barber, strong rebound. Up, no good. Up, good the second time. And Jalen gets Great Crossing on the board.
They're going to need a lot of that this evening. Jalen Barber is active right now. That's 2 rebounds that he's had, but sometimes he just struggles putting the ball back in the basket.
And then he got a third one off his own miss.
Right,
so he's
right. That's where he gets a lot of his points, is off of his own misses.
Yes, for sure. Strong take, partially blocked, I believe, by Barber, and then a foul in the rebounding action against Frankfort. It'll be on Chaz Austin, their leading scorer at 16 a game. Also their leading rebounder at 6.2. Not a big guy, but you can tell he gets in there to mix it up. A little wiry, I guess you could say. Nice quick look, but it was too hard for Barber, and Barber blames it on himself, taps his chest.
That's a walk and a couple possessions. It's a walk and a missed pass on Barber. They need to, and they're running some great looks and great set. As you see them rolling him, from the baseline up to the middle, and he's wide open.
Yeah, it's going to be a mismatch if they can exploit it. But so far, they haven't been able to. Now a steal by Baker. Baker one-on-one and can't get it to fall, and the rebound comes away to Ellis, who played nice defense there. Didn't foul Baker, but made it tough on him. And now it's Will O'Brien, the coach's son. The floater no good. Partially tipped by Skierman and rebounded by Tucker.
Again, he's trying to O'Brien's trying to go to his left and shoot back to his right. That's hard.
Skierman with just a bad pass there, no look, and McKenzie was open in the corner. It goes out of bounds to Frankfort. So a sluggish start, to say the least, for GC, down 4-2, but it's early. Frankfort hasn't really been able to capitalize. Blythe to Ellis, back. He was into Twombly momentarily, and then back out to O'Brien for a deep three. A 7-2 lead for the Panthers out of the gate.
It's just everything is run through Twombly, as you can tell. It's a he's got 4 points and then the assist right there after catching the ball on the block and being able to kick it out. He's a good passer.
Baker on the drive, the floater no good, but he draws contact and will go to the line. And
that's what Neal's going to have to do. When you're playing at 2-3 zone, you penetrate the gaps and you shoot as many gaps as you can.
That's Austin's second foul. That's key because he's their leading scorer.
You know they don't want him going to the bench, and that's where he's going right now.
Baker makes the first free throw as number 33 checks in for Frankfort. Nate O'Brien, the other O'Brien. Their dad is Chris. Their mom is Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman.
That's what Dave Baker was asking me that today.
Indeed, and just adopted another grown daughter, Emma. Used to be Emma Young, who played actually plays college ball at the D1 level now.
Oh.
Just over the Christmas break. She played for her mom at one of the Jessamins. I can't remember which one. 7-4 Frankfort as Neil Baker makes both free throws. Long three again by O'Brien. Back iron, no good. Rebound torn away by Caleb Perry, who's checked into the game in place of Skierman.
That's some quick substitutions
here. We
here.
also see Tyler Sparks in for the first time. Tucker gets a shot blocked. He recovers. And it's, again, almost tipped away. Somehow finds Sparks, and now they'll reset with Baker. Frankfort's defense, they're applauding themselves, and rightfully so.
Yeah, they're playing hard. They got, you can tell they're the aggressor right now. They really are. And what Great Crossing's trying to do is they're trying to get Neil Baker to the middle, and he's being cut off. And so somebody's going to knock down some shots is what it is, Cal. They really are. Somebody's going to have to knock down a couple threes here to blow this thing open.
Yeah. And
KJ Tucker's going to have to get ready on the wing over here.
As we've said, that's been spotty this year, the threes. Ty Skierman's sitting down right now. He's streaky in that regard. McKenzie and Tucker can certainly do it. Tucker banks one in for two. That'll cut it to 7-6. Definitely important one there for Great Crossing.
Very nice, KJ, finding the open space in the zone right there. And that's what you do. You find open space in the zone and you turn and take advantage of it.
Frankfort now, costly turnover in the half court is just a bad pass tipped off the fingers of Will O'Brien. As McKenzie will check back into the game. Looks like KJ Tucker will sit down. So as you said, some early substitutions certainly. Sparks, Perry, we're probably not used to seeing them. Although in the Christmas tournament in Logan County, Steve Page played 9, 10, 11 guys. That was his intent from the start.
Yeah.
So I think you need to build that depth, and he's doing what he can.
You do. You need to give your bench a little bit of confidence. Say, hey, I believe in you guys that you all can come in and play just as well as our starters.
Neil Baker, spin, dips, shoots, no good. Rebound, Barber.
Nice.
Got the elevation that time, and Great Crossing's in front.
That's just one he could reach that nobody else could.
When you're 6'8", that happens a lot.
Exactly right.
Jackson Twombly, he's a good 6'6", standing next to him.
Yep, he sure is. I didn't see much of a foul there.
No, just a little ticky-tack. Twombly and Barber talking to one another about what, I don't know. Probably not stock options.
No.
8-7 Great Crossing under the 3-minute mark. A little bit of a slow-paced start. A little hesitation, dribble and drive, no good, but the foul. Reed Miklovic will go to the line. He's their best soccer player at Frankfort. He's only played in 4 basketball games so far. Maybe a late start to the season for him.
Right.
And these multi-sport guys have to recover from some of their aches and pains. Makes the first to tie it up. 8-8. Tucker back in the game, replaces Baker. So they're kind of rotating the guards right now. Skjorman back in. Sparks sits down. Perry still in the game. He's the only reserve on the floor at the moment.
Wholesale substitutions early in the first quarter.
Get the feeling both coaches think this is going to be a little bit of an intense battle for a while. Twombly will sit down. Frankfort. Did they not correct? I thought he made both free throws. They haven't put the second one on the board.
He did make both free throws.
Yeah, it should be 9-8. Frankfort.
There it is.
Skjorman drives, picks up his dribble, kicks it out to McKenzie up top, looked at three, and then drove, dish back to Skjorman, now back to McKenzie, back to Skjorman, and another turnover. Perry kind of zigged when Skjorman thought he was going to zag.
Well, that's two that Skjorman has gone off the dribble, and he knows where he's throwing, and it's the right idea, but the person is not moving in that direction as where he's throwing it.
Not reading his mind there, and same spot on the court too, same corner. 9-8, Frankfort with the ball. A little bit of a surprise here, I think, early. Although districts, you're always going to throw out the records. Frankfort kind of with an unforced error there to turn it over. And that's been the saving grace for Great Crossing.
It really has.
Frankfort just really hasn't been able to capitalize on this cold start.
And you were talking about when Great Crossing starts slow. This is a slow start.
It for sure is. The ball gets tipped away. It will stay with Great Crossing. If you're Great Crossing, you maybe want to capitalize on Twombly not being in there. He's been replaced by Delano Craig, a senior, kind of a wide body. But,
yeah.
I don't
Twombly's getting I think he's going to get just a little blow here.
Probably just some Gatorade. Ball tipped. It'll again stay with the Warhawks.
We are not seeing a passing clinic here today, are we?
Frankfort just tipping every pass that seems to be made here, and at the other end, Frankfort just throwing it away. Of course, Great Crossing's thrown it away a couple of times too. No, it has not been pretty so far.
They're trying to get it. They need to get the lob right there to Barber. That's a great drive by KJ
Cross
Tucker.
court to Tucker, and a little floater from the left baseline reclaims the lead.
Puts it on the floor well, and that's exactly what you do in that situation. You float your way to the baseline. He doesn't charge. Good body control and puts it in.
Tucker's mid-range game has been on point so far. 10-9 GC back on top. Will O'Brien pushes off before he can take the three-pointer.
Frankfort's had about 3 or 4 empty possessions here.
It's not on O'Brien.
No, it's an illegal screen, whoever was screening for him.
Okay, yeah. I thought maybe O'Brien kind of put his forearm into Ty Skjorman or whoever was defending him. McKenzie with the ball in the lead. We haven't said that much tonight for Great Crossing. Skjorman looks inside to Barber. Back to Skjorman from the left corner. 3 attempt is long. Rebound by Caleb Perry. No good, partially blocked. Now the rebound to Frankfort. Up quickly comes Jordan Blythe, and then a long 3 is no good and rebounded by Barber. Miklovic on the attempt. Barber finds Tucker. Tucker drives the lane. Nope, taken away. And Frankfort dribbled it off their foot, but there's going to be a foul on Perry.
Perry.
Fouls on Great Crossing, number 29, Caleb Perry. His first, team's third.
Not a thing of beauty here in the first quarter.
No, it's not. KJ had the right idea right there, drove the ball in the lane, but again, with his mid-range game, gather yourself and go up from the free throw line. Don't overextend yourself there where somebody can get the hand on the ball, which is exactly what happened.
Jordan Blythe trying to take Tucker off the dribble, gets tied up by Perry.
Stays with Frankfort.
Going to stay with the orange. Panthers out of the capital city. We mentioned semifinalists in the region a year ago. It was the first time in a long time for them. Inbounds, bounce pass to Twombly. I guess Barber might have gotten a piece of it.
How late was that?
That was a very late whistle.
Oh, my goodness.
They had the rebound or headed back the other way.
Yeah, I thought they would call the foul on the rebound, but they called it on Barber. Wow.
Under a minute to go. That's the first foul on Barber. Free throw is good by Twombly. It's his 5th point of the night. 10-10 your score. Second one's good as well. Frankfort back in front. 3 or 4 lead changes here in the first quarter. Great Crossing unable to Stand Prosperity here so far. Dominic Smiley has checked into the game.
It's just a bad area to dribble in. You don't dribble down into the trapping area there, which is exactly what Dominic did.
Reed Miklovic with the steal and the coast-to-coast. He's got 4, 3-point lead for Frankfort.
If you notice, Cal, Frankfort's just physically strong. Every kid is, physically strong.
Tough on-the-ball defenders. Smiley in the corner with it. Dishes to Barber, who runs someone over, but no call. I think that's a good no call.
It's a great no call right there. It's a good move by Barber. Now, if the kid steps up one more step, that is a charge.
It was a little bit of a flop. 13-12, Frankfort content to play for the last shot. They've got the lead. Here's Blythe on McKenzie. Kick to the three-point attempt is no good. Twombly can't tip it to himself in time for a second chance. Panthers 13, Warhawks 12 at the end of 1. Our Boys Player of the Game award tonight will be sponsored by West Banco. Right now, we're just hoping to see this thing get cleaned up before we think about players of the game. It has been a little ragged.
Yeah, it hadn't been a thing of beauty, but sometimes you have to, Great Crossing. You got to fight through that, and you look up and you're like, man, kind of happy just to be down by 1. Yeah. Just some errant passes, not handling the ball well tonight is what they're doing, And Jalen Barber need to continue to try to get him the ball underneath, and I think KJ needs to continue to be aggressive, and Michael McKenzie needs to get going.
Jalen Barber and Jackson Twombly, as expected, the battle in the middle. They lead their respective teams with 6 points apiece. And foul trouble is going to be key there, too, for both of them.
I don't think we're in very much foul trouble right now. Well, besides Chaz, is that correct?
Chaz Austin.
Chaz Austin, yeah, he's got 2.
Yeah, I just got to think with the big guys banging around that.
With that 1 point lead without him, so as Coach O'Brien's doing, he's leaving him on the bench right now. As I would do the same thing.
Great Crossing starts out with the ball here in the second period. Baker, another kind of, I don't want to say lazy pass, but not a real authoritative one. Skierman back to Baker. Baker drives the lane, splits the defenders up and under. Barber can't get his hands on the rebound. Baker gets it swatted away by Nate O'Brien. It will stay with the Warhawks.
Baker's in there battling with the Giants.
Certainly is. Probably the smallest guy on the court while he's out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is him and I think the other O'Brien kid.
Nice little inbound pass from Baker to Barber, who, as good as an alley-oop dunk, it wasn't a dunk, but works the same way. And
beautiful OB under there.
GC back on top.
Do you not scratch your head sometimes, Kyle, and think that
how are you not looking for that? Every time.
How do you not know it's coming?
I mean, huddle, there's enough film on these guys out there. Plus, you just assume it anyway. Blocked by Barber. Get that out of here.
Great block.
Will O'Brien tested the waters and found it to be over his head.
Way over his head.
7:07 remain in the first half. Great Crossing 14, Frankfort 13. Looking is Ellis. Ball batted around on the floor, out of bounds, turnover to Great Crossing.
Great defensive play right there out of bounds under. The ball was thrown to the corner. Great Crossing was able to get out on the man in the corner, actually able to trap him on the bad pass and then come up with the turnover.
Force the mistake.
Yes.
And now Baker back for Great Crossing. McKenzie floats it in to Barber, who hangs on the rim, but he was probably trying to protect himself and others. Frankfort doesn't think so, but at any rate, they did not.
Yeah, I don't know how much protecting he was doing.
Did not get the dunk. He was primping and preening a little bit there.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit frustrated with that.
Frankfort ball, down 1 in any case. And now a touch foul of some sort.
Wow.
That was meek.
I thought KJ was playing good defense right there. Good defensive possession there. Really was.
That's his first foul anyway.
Yeah.
That's the 5th for the Warhawks in the half, so we're not in the bonus yet. 3 for Frankfort. 6:35 remaining in the second quarter. BC up by 1. Tough in traffic attempt by Will O'Brien, and he'll draw the contact. That's
what Ty Skierman's going to have to learn there. He said, I got help coming over from Jalen Barber. Go straight up. If the shot's going to, that shot was going to get blocked, Cal, right? But you can't, you foul him underneath.
It didn't need to be by him.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Know your personnel and who's coming over there with you to help.
Will O'Brien makes the first. He has 4 points. Ties it up again. We've had 4 lead changes. Will O'Brien looking for the 5th here. And gets it. Good as gold. 5 points for him. 15-14 Panthers. Chaz Austin back in the game with his 2 fouls. We'll see if Great Crossing goes right at him. He'll be guarding Baker this trip up the floor.
He's at the top of a 3-2.
Steal by Ellis on the bounce pass. Long 3 from Will O'Brien, no good. Barber tips the rebound to Perry. Now it's thrown away again. Ellis with the steal.
Just not much you can do with Jalen Barber standing there in your face.
Chaz Austin takes it at Barber, and another hand check foul. That's on Barber, his second.
Note that's 2 on Barber with 6:03 to go in the second quarter.
That's
you see what Coach Page does here. He's looking.
And Frankfort will be in the bonus the rest of the way. It's just the style they play and the style he plays.
Right.
As Carson Walls checks in, it's just hard to stay out of foul trouble. And the other side of that coin is teams like Frankfort that are physical are going to go right at him.
Frankfort's got a couple turnovers. They got quick hands on the defensive end out of the 3-2 that they're running. The Ellis kid, I was getting ready to mention earlier, he's had a hand on seems like every pass Great Crossing's thrown.
Chaz Austin hits both free throws for his first points of the game. He averages 16. He's in foul trouble with 2. Under 6 minutes to go in the half. 17-14 Frankfort.
A little momentum
pass
swing
inside
here.
to Tucker.
Beautiful.
Short-range jumper is good. That mid-range 8 to 12-foot stuff from KJ Tucker has been great tonight. They need more of it. 6 points for him.
Great Crossing's going to press now. Somewhat token man-to-man 3-quarter press.
Half court. Baker tips the ball away. Ellis recovers. Now he'll look over in the corner to O'Brien. Can't leave him open. He's made one already.
It's a great rebound by Caleb Perry.
Caleb Perry tears it down, the sophomore. Strong play there. McKenzie takes the cross-court pass and misses from 3. Will O'Brien tears it down for Frankfort.
I don't know why Michael McKenzie doesn't catch that and just barrel to the basket there, Cal. He had nobody over there. It's just kind of a momentum breaker after, a beautiful in-the-lane jump shot by KJ Tucker earlier. Got a bucket, and he had an opportunity to get a transition bucket.
To the rim. Twombly for 3.
I don't think they wanted that.
A long rebound. I don't think that's his shot normally. Tucker fade away. No. Perry can't get the rebound away from Twombly, who seems to be frustrated but works it over to Ellis. It's just been a physical game. I don't think either team is real happy with how they've performed to this point. 17-16, Panthers on top. Bad pass stolen away by Perry.
Perry needs to slow down.
Nice spin move, though. Well, he made it work to reclaim the lead.
Thought they were going to call a charge. That's a big momentum booster right there for Great Crossing. Beautiful steal by Caleb Perry. Took it to the other end. Found the end zone.
Yes, he did. He is a talented football player, and he's seen some spot starts and key minutes off the bench. The 6th lead change of the night so far, only about 11.5 minutes into it. Comes off the fingers of Caleb Perry. Steals it and scores in transition.
And a lot of times, Cal, that's what teams need. You have your starters, that are seem a little bit sluggish. I think KJ's playing well. I really think he's finding the mid-range jumper has really helped them in some situations where they were down 3 and he's hit big buckets. Then you get a Caleb Perry. That's huge.
KJ and Mike McKenzie both seem to like when one's on, the other's off. So they've had that going for them at least. That one can pick it up on a night when the other's struggling. Bounce pass into Twombly. No, might have been partially blocked by Perry. Rebound was a loose ball that stays with Frankfort.
You know, Perry's played him very well underneath. If you notice, Twomley hadn't scored since Perry's been on him.
Perry's a good defender.
He's doing a good
job.
job.
Body control for a young player. Twombly takes the inbound pass right at Perry.
There
I
you
think
go.
that time Perry will be called for the
if you
slap.
notice, exactly, you notice the basketball IQ of Twomley. When he, right there, he saw that he had the body advantage and had Perry on his shoulder there, and he just kind of went into him.
Second foul on Perry, so that's 2 on Perry, 2 on Barber. And now Barber got up, and now instead it's going to be Xavier Parrott.
I was getting ready to kind of, I don't like questioning the coaches.
Steve Page.
I don't like questioning Coach Page, but
he had a second thought that I think was the right thought.
We still got 4:13 on the clock, and he's going to put Barber back in with 2 for Caleb Perry that has 2.
And those minutes that Xavier Parrott got in the Christmas tournament may serve him well here, as he's needed in a much bigger spot in the 41st district.
A foul on Frankfort in that second free throw, and the free throw did not go, and we're tied at 18.
We're tied. We haven't had many ties. We've had lead changes. We've been on that odd number sequence.
Right.
Baker with the ball. Surveys the scene, kicks it over to McKenzie, finds Walls in the corner, no. Tipped around by Parrott and off the fingers of number 3, Nikolovic. Stay with great crossing. Barber got up again. Page says no. I don't think Barber's coming in until they need him.
Barber's going to pull something next time he jumps up that quick.
Tweak a hammy there.
I think what Coach Page is trying to do, wait till about maybe the 3 minute mark, 2.5 minute mark.
If I'm Greg Kressing, I might try to shorten the game here a little bit too. It wouldn't be my first inclination, but get some long offensive sets. And Tucker's going to get called for the offensive foul, and that'll be 2 on him.
I think he passed up a better shot than he was trying to get. I think he should have, get your feet ready, KJ, catch it, and knock it down.
Yep.
He can stroke that all day.
Instead, he's headed to the bench. So now we have Skjorman, Parrott, McKenzie, Walls, and Baker on the court. So only 2 of your starters in the game. And they're the 2 that don't have 2 fouls.
And they're going to turn up the heat on them here. Well, there's token pressure.
It's been a bloodbath so far. 18-18 your score. 3:25 and rolling in the second quarter. They get it inside to Twombly, does Frankfort. He misses again. They're making it tough on him down there, but he gets his own rebound and howls as he puts it back for an and one possibility.
They're going to get a heavy dose of Mr. Twomley right now because he just doesn't have the presence.
Lineup.
Right, exactly right. Which, as Coach O'Brien says, hey, let's go. Let's get it to the big man. Let's ride the horse.
Twombly with 9 points, looking to get into double digits here. The old-fashioned way, no. He can't get the three-point play. Skjorman will tear down the rebound. Baker will push it up quickly to McKenzie. McKenzie has Jordan Blythe on him. Now Baker with the ball. Baker drives to the hoop, up and under and good, ties it. And he stays down. He fell hard. Baker's down. Right now it's 5 on 4. He landed hard on his right side. And now the trainer goes out with 2:57 remaining in the second quarter.
It's a bad sign.
Yeah, you can't lose him for any length of time. They'll lose him at least temporarily, as he'll have to come off as they stop the game.
Especially if that's a hip or some kind of, I don't know if it was, he hit, you could hear every part of his body hit the floor. They're rolling him over now. As he had a beautiful driving layup to tie the ball game at 20.
In the game for Frankfort, number 33, O'Brien. In the game for Great Crossings, number 4, Sparks.
He's up and walking off under his own power. I think he just probably, he's still holding his right hip.
Yeah. I think once he's able to, once the numbness goes away.
Put some ice on it at halftime, and he'll probably be all right. He's a gamer. No question about that. But he'll probably go stretch out at least. So now it's McKenzie, Sparks, Skjorman, Parrott, and Walls. So one starter on the court.
And you know what? You got to feel good if you're Great Crossing. I think Frankfort's playing very well, and Great Crossing is playing with,
not well, and
under adversity.
They've had a lot stacked against them.
Big time.
And the fouls are 10-4. 3 starters on the bench with 2. Baker on the bench with an injury.
Kind of next man up here for Great Crossing.
If I'm Frankfort, I play a little bit with a more sense of urgency here to try to get something going before the half. Nice drive there by Nate O'Brien to take the lead. Frankfort 22-20. Carson Walls for 3. Yes.
So you better hit that after just coming down and making one pass. I think Coach Page is getting ready to go nuts on
Carson
that.
Walls with the go-ahead 3. I believe that's the 8th lead change of the half. It's been that kind of game. Neither team can really sustain anything. That foul is going to be on Skierman.
You know what? Right idea. When you catch the ball in the middle there off the trap, Skierman is supposed to come along and back tap, but he back tapped and got his body in on that as well.
That's Skierman's second.
Yes.
So who comes in for him?
I think Skierman's going to have to ride it out for 2:18 here.
Might be ride or die here.
Yes.
First free throw is no good for Nate O'Brien. Baker, he's walking okay. She wants him to run, the trainer. He's kind of jogging over there. I think he'll be okay as O'Brien hits the second free throw.
He's under the great care of Bluegrass Orthopedics down there.
Good sponsor segue there. 23-23, 2:17 and counting. McKenzie brings up the ball by default right now.
Walls is filling it in the corner.
You get the ball knocked away by Jordan Blythe. McKenzie was trying to get it to Walls. Now Skierman inbounds to McKenzie. Again, I would like a long, slow, deliberate possession if I'm Great Crossing here. Sparks to McKenzie. McKenzie indeed killing some time. Sparks bounce pass into Parrott. Nice head fake. Parrott with the go-ahead basket.
Really nice move there.
Go-ahead hoops now from Parrott and Walls.
One thing they're not getting by having Neil Baker in there is that ball pressure. He was really good guarding the ball.
If Great Crossing can ride out this storm and stem the tide and use any of the other analogies you can think of, it would be huge for them, I think. Frankfort had 3 chances to tie it there and ends up committing a foul after getting none of them to fall. Great Crossing, 2-point lead on the ball with 1:22 left in the second quarter.
You got to feel good about this, Cal.
As you said, I think all signs point to this being a good thing for Great Crossing.
Yes.
If they can get to halftime with anything close to a lead, given what they've been in. They've been in the quicksand. Carson Walls dribbles, kicks to McKenzie. No, don't take that 3. Now a spin, and he's going to get called for the offensive foul.
Michael, he passes up so many shots that he should go ahead and take instead of putting the ball on the floor and being out of control. He catches that ball there and just knocks it down from 3.
Guess how many fouls on Michael McKenzie?
That would probably be 2.
That means all 5 starters, well, no, 4 starters plus 1 bench player have 2, and Baker checks into the game, thankfully, with a minute and under now to go in the half. Frankfort looking to tie or go ahead. That's been the theme of this half, and looked like Parrott had a clean block, but Twombly's going to the line. Parrott's just laughing about it.
Fouls on Great Crossing's number 30, Pratt, his second.
Guess what? 2 fouls on Xavier Parrott. At least nobody's got 3. Steve Page is managing the situation well. He's managing the officials right now.
Yes, he is. As I would be too. I'd be saying, hey, that's 2 really, really late calls that didn't even have to be made.
Frankfort has missed some golden opportunities here, both with layups and at the free throw line. They've had a door wide open. Twombly makes 1 of 2. He has 10 points on the game. Took him a while to get that 10th point. 25-24 should be your score. I don't think they waved that off.
No.
The scoreboard doesn't.
There you go. They've been a little slow on the score up there, on the visitor score.
I know they've found some difficulty. It's a strange
We have not questioned the home score.
No. 3-point attempt from Ty Skierman. That's one of those better make threes.
Jump ball.
Collision as they come down for the held ball. Tyler Sparks had a hand on it for Great Crossing, but the arrow says Frankfort. 33.2 seconds. Bryce Hearn will check in for a rotation here. And Chris O'Brien's going to use the timeout.
It's good, really good timeout.
And try to design something to get the lead before the half. Frankfort's right in it. They come into the game with a 5-10 record and a 7-game losing streak, but obviously they've tested themselves. They've gone out of state. They've gone to a big Christmas tournament in state. They're a better team than their record indicates. I think we're seeing that tonight.
Much, much better. And the thing about it is what Coach Page is going to be happy with is the personnel or the lack of personnel playing together that he's had on the floor the majority of the whole second quarter.
I don't believe he's had the same 5 out there for more than 30 seconds.
He has not.
At any time. And it has been by committee, but Great Crossing clinging to that 25-24 lead. Back and forth. I think Frankfort's biggest lead was 5. I believe Great Crossing's largest lead was 3 or 4.
Right. I think it's going to come down. It's going to be a very good ball game. Very good second half.
Little low rider from the Great Crossing band.
Low rider.
All right, 25-24, 33 seconds. Ball inbounded to Ellis. To Blythe. Blythe facing some pressure, stolen away by Tyler Sparks. Gets it back to Baker. Baker in traffic, gets fouled. Will go to the line with, now he gets his hand snapped around, shaking that. Neil Baker's going to be a double ice pack guy coming out of the locker room tonight when the game's over. 25-24 and chance to pad it.
Big steal by Tyler Sparks right there.
Huge.
Big steal.
So the backups, the reserves have done great things. Go-ahead baskets by Walls and Parrott. And now the steal by Sparks leading to the 2 free throws for Baker, none the worse for wear. 27-24. Warhawks over the Panthers. Will they play for one shot? They'll instead throw a bad pass and a steal by Baker. Parrott had a finger on it first. Now Baker pulls up at the foul line. No. Tipped around. Baker with one more shot. Fade away. No. And that's how we'll stay at the half. Great Crossing 27. Frankfort 24. Hasn't been a pretty one, but it's a good one. It's heating up, I think.
Very good one.
Second quarter was better than the first, and I think both teams faced some adversity. Chaz Austin with the 2 fouls early for Frankfort, and then everybody and their brother with 2 fouls after that for Great Crossing. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with you to talk about some stats and talk about maybe a little bit more about that Scott County Henry Clay game that's coming up on Friday night. We want you to join us for that if you can't be in person. Until then, take a little break. We'll be back with you around the 5-minute mark of intermission. Great Crossing leads 27-24 over Frankfort. Welcome back, everybody. We've got some first half stats, and they're predictably not necessarily easy on the eyes. Total of 20 turnovers between the two teams. Great Crossing had 11. Frankfort had 9. 13 fouls on Great Crossing. 6 for Frankfort. Trips to the line. Frankfort 11 for 14. Great Crossing 4 for 4. Both teams only made 1 3, and they attempted 13 between them. All that being said, Great Crossing's up 27-24. Go figure.
That exactly is what I was talking about. Before the half, Steve Page has to go in there and take a big deep breath and go, guys, good job, you guys off the bench. I mean, that's what we're asking for. Next man up. There's going to be nights like this where there's foul trouble. There's going to be guys not playing well. Who can come in and give us some good minutes and not have a drop off? Put it that way.
Yeah, bench scoring. Frankfort had 7 points off the bench, and Great Crossing had 7, but they were 7 I don't think we normally would expect. Xavier Parrott had a basket. Carson Walls hit a 3.
Caleb Perry on
the glass and with a basket, and Tyler Sparks with a steal that led to Neil Baker getting a bucket.
They're all, the thing about it is, you said there's 7 points off the bench. They're all situational points. They came in big situations. They really did. I mean, Walls, I think they were down, may have been down 4 or 5 at that point when he hits the three. Yeah. And
they were in some danger there because everybody's on the bench. It might have been while Baker was limping around with his, after he fell. A lot of things were stacked against Great Crossing there, and to come out and go into the locker room with a 3-point lead, got to feel good about the second half, I think. You see a game like this, is it going to be called the same way, or
right.
a lot of times the officials do a 180 at halftime, and so we don't know. We'll see what we get. But, just about every contact, a lot of hand checks being called, and a lot of contact under the basket. It's hard to defend a guy like Jackson Twombly because he's a load and he's mobile.
He definitely is, and it's also impossible a lot of times to defend a Jalen Barber unless Jalen defends himself. You know what I mean? He's his own worst enemy a lot of times, but he can really break this thing open and be the difference. If they go to him, as they were trying to do against his 2-3 zone early, had a couple turnovers, he missed a good opportunity, had a walk call. Kind of got down a little bit and then got the 2 fouls. So let's see if they can go back to him and he can really, I think, because Jalen can really take them home here.
Barber had team high 8 points, but he only played 9.5 minutes.
Right.
Tucker with 6, Baker with 6, Walls with 3, Perry with 2, Parrott with 2. Skierman, nothing, 0 for 1 from the field. McKenzie, nothing, 0 for 2 from the field. That's 2 starters that aren't on the scoreboard yet. Now you look at the other side, Ellis has not scored. Only 2 points for the leading scorer for Frankfort on the season, Chaz Austin, both from the line. He did not attempt a field goal.
Right.
And only played 5.5 minutes.
So that could be a positive if you're Frankfort. If you're Coach O'Brien, you're going, look, my leading scorer, we're down 3, and my leading scorer hadn't even attempted a field goal.
So it's there for the taking for both teams. We got about a minute to go before we find out who does take it. This is brought to you by the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, brought to you by the News Graphic. Please do subscribe if you like what you see and hear here. We've got more and more and more of it online and in print. We've got all the information you can possibly want about these 4 county high school basketball teams and the Georgetown College teams, the #1 team in the country, one of only 3 undefeated teams, the defending national champions. Got all that you want to possibly read about them as well. All in the News Graphic, 3 times weekly, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Also brought to you by Raising Cane's, Georgetown College, DMK CPA, Scott County Veterinary Clinic, Steve Skierman and Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, West Banco, Bluegrass Orthopedics, Burger King, Georgetown Community Hospital, Brickhouse Properties, Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Kentucky, Galvin's Chick-fil-A of Georgetown, Green's Toyota of Lexington, Clark's Pump and Shop of Georgetown, 2 locations, and People's Bank. (27-24), Great Crossing nursing a 3-point lead at the half with 4 starters with 2 fouls apiece, at least 1, maybe 2 reserves with 2 fouls.
Great Crossing gets the ball first, so let's see.
At least they've spread it out.
Well, I'm sure Coach Page has something here that, you're going to get the ball after the half, so you're able to go in and talk about, hey, first possession, here's what we're going to do. Let's see if they're going to Jalen right here. That would be my guess.
5-point lead feels a lot better than a 3-point lead.
Right. And they go back with Caleb Perry instead of Skierman.
Interesting. Baker with the ball, bounces it over to McKenzie. McKenzie finds Baker again. Baker into the paint, kicks it back to McKenzie, drives the left baseline, floater is good.
Nice.
Michael McKenzie finally gets on the board, and that probably was what they drew up. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone, gets Michael back into the frame of things.
But it's all about Neil Baker's penetration.
Yep.
When you're shooting gaps in the zone, you're going to get what you want. Now, whether you hit it or not, it's a different story.
29-24, 5-point lead, biggest of the night for Great Crossing. Twombly goes right at Barber, and it's rebounded by Baker after a wild miss. Baker up ahead to Tucker, inside to Perry, yes.
Nice pass.
Great Crossing on a little bit of a run here, 31-24.
Beautiful pass. KJ caught the ball, caught it in a bad position actually, and gathered himself and dropped a nice pass right there to Caleb Perry.
Frankfort in a little danger coming out of the half here, seeing it slip away quickly. Drive, kind of an off-balance, odd-looking drive by Austin, but he finally gets that field goal attempt.
In that situation, you kind of scratch your head as to Jalen Barber. I know you have 2 fouls, but go up and be an obstacle. He didn't, hands down. He didn't attempt to even defend him right there.
There wasn't any impediment at all to Austin there. Baker, cross-court pass to McKenzie, looked for 3, now drives the baseline again, gets stopped, double-teamed, kicks it over to Tucker. Tucker finds Baker open, who bounces it in or tries to bounce it into Barber, but it's knocked away by Twombly.
Twombly's just a very athletic guy. He really is.
He has a nose for the ball, to be sure. He carried him in the first half, 10 points for the sophomore. Barber's got to be careful. He got called for the walk, but he also kind of raised his shoulder. Lucky he didn't get called for his third foul. Frankfort ball down 5, 6:18 remaining in the third quarter.
You keep wanting to have a little Great Cross to have a little life right here. You know what I mean? Everybody seems kind of flat-footed.
It's just hard to get rolling when you have different combinations and different people in foul trouble. Twombly on the block, kicks it out to Ellis for 3, way short. Baker with the rebound, and he will run the floor. Finds McKenzie on the right wing. 3-pointer is no good, but he got fouled.
I thought I saw his hand get knocked down too. I mean, I noticed.
Was he on the line, or will they give him 3? They will give him 3.
Give him 3.
That's a good chance for Great Crossing to stretch it out here. They're up 5. McKenzie, I'm not going to jinx him. He's a decent foul shooter, makes the first. This team pretty good at the line most of the season. They've been in that 2/3 range, 65 to 70%. McKenzie makes the second. McKenzie in that Logan County tournament had a night where he went off for 32 points, a career high. Makes all 3 here. He's got 5 points this quarter, and Great Crossing with its largest lead of the night at 8.
That's what they need him to do. They need him to get off early right here. He seems to be a little frustrated.
Bounce pass from O'Brien to Twombly, and Twombly gets untracked. His first bucket of the half.
And you got Jalen Barber leaving the paint right there, running up to the free throw line and leaving Twombly.
Baker with kind of a no-look wild pass, but McKenzie recovered it. Now he gets it back to Baker. Baker inside to Perry, posts up Twombly, kicks it over to Tucker, out to McKenzie for another 3-point attempt, and it's good. And Michael's feeling it. He has 8 in less than 3 minutes, and it's a 9-point Great Crossing advantage. Blythe over to Ellis. Ellis looked at 3, now will drive up and under, no good. Tucker rebound.
Probably not a good idea.
Chance to push it to double digits all of a sudden. Tucker drives, no, but Barber right there for the follow. And it's going to be a timeout for Chris O'Brien, who's apoplectic with his team right now. First, I thought maybe he was talking to an official, but he was definitely looking.
I didn't know who he was talking to either when I saw him throw his hand.
A good run here for Great Crossing out of the half.
Great run.
And a necessary one.
Yes.
Kind of what we expected. I mean, I did not expect this to be an overly competitive game, but Frankfort hung in there with them for a half. It's just hard when you can't get your stars going. And
right, exactly. Well, and again, as we talk, nights you have to overcome adversity and see who can step up and get you to the locker room at halftime safely. Now you come back out and your Michael McKenzie's and KJ and Jalen can take off from here.
11-point lead, by far the biggest of the night for either team. Slow pace here for Frankfort as they bring the ball up. Now it's Blythe with Baker on him. Nate O'Brien tries to set a screen. Blythe with the floater is good. So they got what they needed out of the timeout.
They did.
Frankfort. Get back on the board and end that run. It's a 9-point deficit for the Panthers.
And you continue to see them score underneath as long as Jalen Barber moves out of the paint.
Warhawks looking for McKenzie now, but Baker will take a
Nice
short
move.
J. A leaner in the paint is good. He has 8 points. Back to an 11-point edge.
Again, off the dribble in the paint and get what you want.
And another foul up top. It's going to be on Perry. The last foul was on Austin. That was his third for Frankfort. This is Perry's third. Austin's still in the game, but Perry will come out. Sparks will go in for him. We still haven't seen Ty Skierman. Excuse me, Carson Walls. I've been mixing those two guys up.
Yeah, they kind of look alike.
They
really do.
Long attempt is no good.
There's Jalen Barber being. You see that when Jalen's up above everybody and leaves it for someone else.
Carson Walls with a 3, no good, but the rebound to Tucker, and he'll make it work. Tucker mid-range for all 8 points tonight. 13-point lead. Baker's dozen for Great Crossing. Twombly's got to check back in pretty soon. I don't think they have any choice there.
Yeah, he's going to the scores table now.
O'Brien gets the leaner to fall. Will O'Brien.
Nice off the screen and roll there.
Foul line jumper for him. He's got 7. McKenzie spot up 3 is good. He has 11 in this quarter. He has 11 on the evening, and it's a 14-point Great Crossing Warhawk lead. Timeout with 3:19 to play, third quarter.
Kind of like Frankfort's just kind of stopped playing defense. You know what I mean, Cal? They're not moving out to the shooters. McKenzie's on fire. He's got what's he got? 11 this half.
11 in 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, 11 in 4.5 minutes.
Frankfort's going to be running out of timeouts here soon. I know he's called at least 3 tonight. He's used 2 in this quarter.
Right.
We'll be back with you Friday night here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, NFHS Network, and newsgraphic.com for Scott County boys basketball. A 42nd District brouhaha between Scott County and Henry Clay. Two teams whose records probably don't reflect how good they are, at least in their mind, certainly. And it's a must-win, I would say, in terms of seeding. Frederick Douglass has stepped up its game this year. Bryan Station's not bad. Sayre, not an easy touch either, as they gave Henry Clay a battle the other night. So be with us 7:30 on Friday night for a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think to be a good atmosphere, good Friday night atmosphere.
Should be.
Good district battle.
Scott County has had a week to prepare. Same situation they were in last year when they kind of took Henry Clay to school in the home game. Another turnover for Frankfort. Tucker comes away with it, and he had to drive it because he picked up his dribble. Was about to turn
Lost
it over.
his dribble, actually.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get called for a carry, so he just took it to the hoop, missed the layup. Frankfort ball now down 14 as we tick down to the end of the third quarter. Final 3 minutes. Twombly posts up Barber, draws the foul, and
he jumps into Jalen. If Jalen goes straight up, there's still not much he can do because Twombly's so wide that he's going to put a shoulder into it. It looks like a big foul.
Ball didn't fall in, so it will be 2 free throws at the line for Twombly. It's the third foul for Jalen Barber. Twombly, not a real great free throw
he's got to work on his free
throw. In his armor. Especially in the first half. He had 3 or 4 that he missed that they had a chance to really stretch it out a little bit. At this point, that seems like a long time ago. They're down 14. Makes the second fall, so you got sick of hearing me talk about his free throw problems. He's made 5 on the night. That's 13 points. Long 3 from McKenzie. Why not? And Steve Page will get a timeout.
Assist Baker.
Michael McKenzie in fuego.
Yep. It's 14 this quarter.
30-second timeout. Charge to Great Crossings.
And what was A game that was up for grabs at halftime is a 16-point disparity with 2:34 remaining third quarter. And probably what Steve Page is reinforcing to his team here is, don't let up.
Right, but keep the foot on the gas.
Because this is a district opponent. They will try to muck it up and get back into it. They were successful in the first half doing that, but so far, again, we said sometimes things 180 with the officials. We've had 3 total fouls called here in the second half. Some of that is they haven't had to drive to the hoop because McKenzie can just
right. He's catching and shooting.
He's hit 3 in a row. It was the 3 at the line that he hit that made such a difference in this game. Kind of stretched out the lead and gave him some confidence. Blocked by Parrott.
Good block.
Man, the bench has stepped up tonight.
Really has. Good block.
More minutes they can get out of some big men off the bench is just going to help because Barber can't play 32 minutes. Even when he's not in foul trouble, he's going to need some breaks. Steal by Baker, uncontested layup it would appear, yes. And Frankfort falling all over itself in hot pursuit. They're down 18, 2 minutes to go, third quarter. They do break the press here. Parrott made another shot tough, however.
He really did. Parrott's playing Barber's role in there right now.
Tie up for the loose ball on the floor between Walls and the Frankfort player. It will stay with the Panthers. Ellis looking to inbound. He can't find anybody. Now he does, just in the nick of time. Ball's tipped away and stolen by Tucker. Tucker up ahead to Walls, who draws the contact. And Carson Walls will go to the line.
It's a good pass. Way to look up ahead by KJ. He's going to get Walls going to get opportunity to 2 free throws here. Used his body well.
Chance to make it a 20-point lead, and who'd have thunk it? Misses the first, however. Great Crossing will be back here on Saturday night. I think they've got, in fact, I know they have an away game Friday night, and it's a big one. It's at Trinity. And then they come back here and host Douglas on Saturday. So they will be tested.
Yeah, they will.
2 more times this week. Tough shot there. Turnaround by Ellis. Can't get it to fall. Again in traffic. A long pass to McKenzie. Yes. 15 points in the third quarter for Michael McKenzie. Excuse me, 16.
16, yes. Nice
long pass there, and nice layup for number 5. It's Ronnie Moore. He hasn't seen much action tonight. Walls for 3, no. Gets his own rebound, finds Parrott, kicks it to McKenzie. Why not?
Yep.
Oh. Rebound for Tucker on the weak side. Now inside to McKenzie, yes. He's unstoppable right now.
Great pass by KJ.
You got to credit that one to Tucker for sure. Got the rebound
very
and
unselfish.
then the nice look.
Very unselfish.
Those 2 guys have a way of finding each other. Steal by McKenzie. This has been the quarter of his life. He'll repay Tucker now. Long pass, and KJ is in double digits with 10. Great Crossing running away with it, 58-35.
We got Twomley. I guess he's coming back in maybe fourth quarter.
Yeah, what are you saving him for?
It's kind of a mystery.
I think he's another one of those guys that can't go all 32, but he's a big boy.
He is a big boy. I like his foot. He's a sophomore, right?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, he gave Billy Hicks nightmares.
Yeah, he did.
I remember as a freshman against Scott County last year in the playoffs. It's like, man, we had everybody else covered except for that freshman. Nice drive by Ellis. He'll draw the foul with 1.5 ticks remaining here in the third quarter.
Kentucky 12, Georgia 8, with 12:15 to go in the first half.
Might get home for the second half.
Yeah.
God willing. Ellis makes the first. That's his first point of the evening. Wholesale substitution for Frankfort, except for the free throw shooter. As he'll give some people a quick 1.5 second head start on the minute between quarters with Coach Chris O'Brien. Charles Ellis makes both. 58-37 will be your score at the end of 3. Michael McKenzie, 18 points in the third quarter, 18 points for the game. Great Crossing hung 31 in that period against Frankfort's 13.
It's a good quarter.
Pretty good.
Good quarter for Great Crossing.
McKenzie got all 18 of his in that quarter. Tucker and Barber both into double digits in that quarter. Like the ball movement in that quarter. I think a lot of things to like for Coach Steve Page after a ragged start tonight.
Well, the main thing, as I keep iterating, main thing I like is what my bench did in the first half.
Yeah, they are the stars of this game, and we can't break this trophy in 3 pieces to give it to them.
Exactly right.
So I think Michael McKenzie is headed in that direction, but you definitely would love to give them some love because they've earned it. Reminder, this brought to you by the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, NFHS Network, and newsgraphic.com. Please do subscribe to the News Graphic, as I will be typing away over the next 18 hours or so to get the Thursday edition out to you with all this information. And then we'll be back with you Friday night for Scott County and Henry Clay. And a couple of weeks down the road, the Toyota Classic will be with you twice that weekend as well. And plenty more action as we've got a foul here on the opening possession of the fourth quarter. That'll be on Jalen Barber. He's got 4 to match the 4s on his jersey, and he will, I think, sit down. Yeah, it was going to be Walls for Parrott. Now it's going to be Walls for Barber. Nice take for O'Brien. Will O'Brien's had a decent night, quietly with 9. Frankfort within 19. It's not over yet. Great Crossing's got to keep the foot on the pedal here. Baker to the hole.
Basket by Baker.
Baker with 12. That's 4
nice
in double
move.
digits.
Really nice move by Neal. Good body control.
No good for Miklovic. Long rebound for Baker. Bounce pass ahead to McKenzie. Just couldn't get his hands on it.
You don't bounce pass in that situation. That's a hard chest pass to Michael to hit him in stride there.
Or take it to the hole yourself.
Yes.
One or the other.
I think he had the right idea. Just waited too long.
I like the unselfishness.
Yep.
Got to say that for everybody here in the second half for Great Crossing. Post up by Twombly, gets it to fall.
If he gets into your body, forget about it.
He has 15 points, but he's worked for him. He's made life tough on Barber, but Barber, Parrott, and others have made life tough on him. Tucker, top of the key, gets it to fall. A little fadeaway for 12 points and a 21-point Great Crossing lead. Blythe drives, offensive foul. Drawn by Walls.
Gotta love that right there. Gotta love that right there.
Walls has taken a charge. He's hit a 3. He's made steals, tie-ups. Just love the energy off the bench tonight. Walls, Parrott, Perry. Sparks, don't want to leave him out. Walls takes that 3, no good. Nice pass,
Great
though,
pass
from Walls to Parrott.
Great
Gets his
pass.
second bucket of the night. 64-41, Great Crossing, 6:09 to play.
Walls is not shy either.
He's certainly not. Whenever he gets in there, he tips the ball away there, trying to make a nice defensive play.
Very good on-the-ball defender. He really is.
Steve Page has got to like the fact that he's had a legit 9 or 10 man rotation. Fall away 3 by Chaz Austin.
3 by Austin.
Extremely quiet night, but he has 7. McKenzie gets fouled by Twombly. 20-point game.
Fouls on Frankfurt's number 22, Twombly, his first, team's 4th. McKenzie at the line shooting 2.
Michael McKenzie, 2 points, 2 free throws away from 20 here. He had none at halftime. Barber checks back in. Nate O'Brien and Charles Ellis check back in for Frankfort.
Number 33, O'Brien.
Went to 21 pretty quick, didn't it, Cal?
Yeah, it did. I mean, they were behind until about 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yes.
McKenzie misses the second. He's stuck on 19. Another three-pointer for Austin. He's feeling it all of a sudden. It gets him into double digits. 65-47. A few more threes, they could get back in it. They just haven't had any defensive answers for Great Crossing this half, especially Baker. Baker's just making things happen.
Oh, he just
he
controls everything. He really does.
Another bad pass for McKenzie. Walls had the right idea again, but it was just behind him a little bit. Another three for Austin, no. But I would encourage him to take it if I were Chris O'Brien. Barber tears down the rebound. Just jostled around a little bit. Now Great Crossing throws it away, but Baker takes it back. Dribbles around the defender, finds McKenzie in the corner. McKenzie will take some time off the clock and find Baker. Now Baker has an open lane. He'll locate Tucker in the left corner. No. Barber, offensive rebound. Contact,
that's
offensive
his 5th.
foul,
Yep.
and he will be done for the night with 4:36 left. You know, the strategy is going to become what we've seen, which is, unfortunately, I think, flop. And if the officials aren't wise to it.
No, and I think I didn't know Jalen's allowed to sit down like that before someone else is. You know, you got to stay on the floor till someone else is in. Evidently not.
Yeah.
He made a beeline for the bench.
He was not happy.
No, he's upset.
Clutching at his jersey and wanting to throw it into the stands. He didn't. I don't blame him for being upset. It's been a tough night. He finished with 10 points.
Quiet 10, and then, you know, he just wasn't the force that he normally is.
Twombly, just a terrible angle. Parrott cut him off and got the rebound. Baker scrambles to keep the ball. To Walls, to Tucker. 3 is good as he was floating over the arc. Tucker with 15. 68-47, 4 minutes to play. Twombly with an easy 2 inside.
Kid can score. He really can. I mean, he's got good body control, good footwork. He can flat score.
He can get to the block and fill it up. Tucker misses. Twombly with a rebound. You don't want to shoot that quickly, I don't think, with a 19-point lead with 4 minutes left. Under 4 now.
No.
O'Brien to Blythe for 3. Rainbow that looked good. Nice hustle play again.
Very
by
great
Carson
hustle
Walls.
play. He snuck in underneath when the Frankfort player thought that he had a clean rebound.
Just love the energy. Can't say it enough. It's been a great night for the Great Crossing bench. You know, you look at their points, they've only scored about 10. But they've earned possessions. They've grabbed rebounds. They've made steals. They've taken charges.
30-second timeout.
Steve Page will call a timeout with 3:20 left in the game, 68-49. Dun, 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 dun. Second time tonight we've heard this.
Somebody's low riding.
I'm gonna have to go home and watch Up in Smoke by
Cheech and
Chong's Up in Smoke now. Not encouraging the kids out there to watch it, but maybe someday. Great Crossing ball, 3:16 to play. Baker was under all kinds of duress. Finds McKenzie, who finds Parrott. Nice little pivot for him. Yes.
Parrott can score.
Xavier Parrott showed me something tonight. 6 points and some great defense on Twombly at the other end.
Where's he been? Where's that where's Parrott been? He didn't play in the Scott County game, or
he had a slow start to the season. I can't remember if there was an injury involved, and he was kind of babying him a little bit. But the Logan County tournament, Coach Page got him in there, and it's been he's been a factor.
I think he's a force. I really do.
He's going to need to be down the stretch. This team is to get where it wants to go, which is the 11th region tournament. Nice play there by Will O'Brien, but he can't get it to fall. Parrott with another rebound, finds Baker. Baker will wisely pull it out. He'll get trapped in the corner, locates, Walls gets a hard foul. Gets picked up nicely by the Frankfort player, Reed Miklovic. Not in a bonus situation yet.
Nope. I think Great Crossing has seen a lot tonight for their bench players.
Yeah, this is just going to help. I came in tonight kind of thinking, okay, Feaser's out. You've had limited minutes from Smiley. You've had good minutes here and there from Perry. Who else is going to step up if this is a tight ball game? And it was a tight ball game. And the answer to that question was a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, it was very much, if you want to use the cliche, team effort. It was definitely a team effort tonight because there were some guys who were almost down and out there in the first half. And
it was dire straits.
Right, Coach Page did what he had to do. He said, guys, hey, next man up. Let's see who can show me something here tonight, and they really did.
A lot of slashes in that foul column and a lot of twos in that foul column in the first half for Great Crossing. Some necessary minutes, some points, and some hustle plays to kind of stop the bleeding.
Right.
And since then, it's 27-24 at the half, so it's 43-25 here in the second half. This is more like the Great Crossing we saw before Christmas.
Exactly right.
Where McKenzie and Tucker were capable of going off at any minute. Great Crossing going to be back on the plus side after this one, 7-6 overall, but most importantly, 2-0 in the 41st district. They'll drop Frankfort to 0-2 with their 8th consecutive loss overall. Parrott gets the ball taken away.
Don't like that out of a timeout.
Nope.
Or any time really, but especially out of a timeout.
Twombly going to show us his outside shooting range, which there was nil, but a nice second and third try, no. And Baker finally comes down with a defensive rebound. Falls down in the triple team. Ball being knocked around. Baker somehow finds Walls, who somehow finds McKenzie. 21 points for M squared. 72-49, 2:12 to play.
This possibly could be the longest 2:12.
I don't think it could be longer than the fourth quarter of the girls' game or the JV game. We've been here a long time tonight. It was still daylight when we arrived. We parked next to each other. Ball is tipped out of bounds and will go to Great Crossing.
Skierman comes back in with 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
His playing time's been limited tonight.
Yep, really has.
Some of that has been because the bench has played so well, and Coach Page has gone with the hot hand. Down to the final 2:11 here at Great Crossing High School. McKenzie trying to dribble through a double team. He'll get fouled. They had one to give.
Fouls on Frankfort's number 11, Jordan Blythe, his second, team 6.
Tucker with the ball. He'll take it to the rim, get fouled. 15 points tonight for KJ Tucker. It's right around his average. 14.5 to be exact. They got their normal contributions out of Tucker, McKenzie, and Barber. It took an odd configuration of ways to get there. Hasn't felt like a 24-point victory for Great Crossing.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been the best played ball game.
But you are what the scoreboard says you are.
That's it. That's it. And as I mentioned before, there's going to be nights like this.
And as I've mentioned before, they are streaky.
Yes.
We see that again tonight.
Yep.
Michael McKenzie in particular. Nice left-handed take there by Jordan Blythe.
Real nice.
Only his second field goal of the evening. Frankfort, they'll be a factor in that battle for the 2 seed certainly in this district. You got Western Hills and there's Frankfort Christian, the other team that probably not going to be a factor in the long run. Jalen Austin will check in for the first time tonight. And he'll get to play the final 97 seconds for Great Crossing.
Well, you can't play 6.
Nope, somebody's going to sit down. Perry's going to take a knee for the moment as McKenzie will finish his night at the line. 21 points all in the second half. Make it 22, and he will be our West Banco player of the game.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
You don't have
he took
20.
took the game by the throat there.
He really
in the
did.
Second half.
He was the difference.
The second one is missed, tipped into the hands of Austin, who will find Skierman for 3, no good. Rebound and a hard fall by Frankfort's Ronnie Moore. He'll get up.
Fouls on Great Crossings, number 42, Austin, his first.
McKenzie will get the rest of the evening off.
In the game for Great
22 points for him.
Bryce Hearn.
He had 16 from Tucker, 22 from McKenzie, 10 for Barber, 12 for Baker tonight.
Number 1,
6 for Parrott off the bench.
10, Dominique Smiley.
Dominique Smiley in the game, Bryce Hearn. Free throw is good for Moore. Cade Brown is also in the game for Great Crossing, so I think they have officially cleared the bench.
Big weekend for Great Crossing, as you were saying earlier.
Trinity and
Huge.
Frederick Douglass
Absolutely.
back-to-back. Couple of top 25. I mean, Trinity, this is not vintage Trinity, but in that building, they'll be tough. They are very young, and it's going to be a good test. I mean, Great Crossing could win that game. They could also, you know, be awestruck by the experience.
Yep.
We'll see. Austin with a nice rebound and a nice spin, and he'll get a second chance, and he'll go to the line. Trinity, the defending state champions, but a lot of those pieces are gone.
The main piece.
The main piece.
The one-man
is
show in the state championship.
Playing for Louisville.
Yes.
I guess that's a big piece. Austin misses the first free throw, in and out.
Shooting 2, Austin.
Trinity always has those secondary pieces of the puzzle that step up, but it's hard when you have to be leaders and you're used to being those secondary pieces. Offensive rebound for Bryce Hearn and another tip in. Hearn scores to make it 76-53. Great Crossing. Going to be a comfortable win. Ronnie Moore drives. Reserves for both teams finishing this one up. 2 convincing wins to start off the district schedule for Great Crossing in its history. Moore.
Oh, he takes a charge. That boy.
Off. And Jalen Austin will draw the foul on Moore. Everybody off that bench. Hearn scores. Austin draws a foul. I mean, you got to love what everybody on that bench has done tonight. I want Cade Brown to get something here, maybe a 3. Get him an open shot, and then we can say literally everybody did. That ball's thrown away. 28.4 seconds to the finish of this one. Not quite the witching hour yet, 9:42. We did all right, considering the late start. Another throwaway. Back with you Friday night here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network for Scott County Henry Clay boys. Going to be a fabulous matchup. Dominique Smiley will dribble out the final 10 seconds. Great Crossing will be your winner by a final score of 76-53 over Frankfort. They moved to 2-0 in the 41st district, 7-6 overall. Another statement win for Great Crossing here in the district. They'll have a chance for 2 more statements out of the district coming up this weekend. Get the final stats, and then
23-point ball game that I honestly said at halftime I thought this game would go down to the very end. I thought it could be a one-possession ball game, and Frankfort got Michael McKenzie'd in the second half.
They got Michael.
They sure did.
They get McKenzie'd. The return of the Mac, as it were.
Exactly right.
Michael McKenzie with 22 points after having none in the first half. He had 16 for KJ Tucker.
Some unofficial stats for tonight's game.
A hard-earned 10 with 7 rebounds for Jalen Barber, 12 and 7 rebounds and 7 assists for Neil Baker. Nice game for him.
Really good game for him.
4 points. Austin, 4 points.
Anything else you see on there stand out?
Well, you know what? Great Crossing won the turnover battle, meaning they had more, 18-17.
Yeah.
That's something else. And then points off turnovers. Frankfort had 18. Great Crossing had 17.
It was a sloppy game for a half.
It really was.
And at the end with subs in there. But there were moments of prosperity for the Warhawks.
Well, and also, although Michael McKenzie played well in the second half, Frankfort went into Great Crossing went into the press and really caused a lot of timely turnovers at that point.
Yeah. Jackson Twombly, he worked for his 17, and Chaz Austin, really a non-factor, 3 for 4 from the field and 10 points as he was in foul trouble. Only ended up with 3.
He hits the 2 threes and at the end of the game there, back to back.
Cosmetic.
Sure.
Just didn't really make an impact on the game. So there you have it. Great Crossing, moving above the 500 mark once again. They'll try to stay there in a tough spot at Louisville Trinity on Friday night, and then they'll come back here and face Frederick Douglass. Back-to-back barn burner type games for the Great Crossing Warhawks this weekend. We'll be back with you Friday night here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, newsgraphic.com, NFHS Network. Thank you to everybody who made it possible. To my broadcast partner, Derek Varney, I'm Cal Oakes. Thank you, James Scoggin. Thank you, Mike Scoggin. Thank you, viewers and listeners. Can't wait to see you Friday night. Talk to you then.